Welcome back. I'm doing a series of short videos. In this video, I'm going to try creating bar plots. This should be the sixth video in my series. So if you've not watched all the other ones, please watch, especially number 5, because this continues from where we left off. You'll be able to follow it along. Okay. So quickly, we have already created one data frame called df record, and just remind you, it has 9 different columns. 6 that we created. One is the team name, and then wins and losses. And then it has 32 rows, one for each column, and here it looks like. Here's what it looks like. We are interested in these 2 columns, wins and losses. Let's first try plotting the wins. Okay, we're going to use Seaborn has a nice command called, I think, Barplot. Okay, good. In a bar plot, we have to say, what is my x-axis? My x-axis is this column. Okay, team. X-axis is what is called categorical. It's a name, right? Philly, Baltimore, and so on. And then for my y-axis, I would like to plot this column called wins. So wins. Then where is the data coming from? It's coming from df underscore record, which we just created. That's it. This is a one-line command that mainly I don't like it. It looks very squished. So let me say that I'm saying AX, I'm storing it on an axis, and then I'm going to say this is just big size equal to 15 inches and maybe 4 inches tall or something. Let's see if that looks any better. Okay, a little better. So I have created, watch the x-axis. X-axis is team by one by one. There are all the teams are here. And then the y-axis is the number of wins, right? Now, it looks good. It's a good start, but there are many things I don't like about this plot. Before that, if you wanted to plot the losses, it's as easy as simply changing the y-axis, and it will create all the losses by team, okay? I don't like several things about this plot, and I'm going to change them. I don't like the rainbow colors. I don't like the order in which they are. It's just they are ordered in which the data was presented initially. So I would like to sort them, and probably most important, I want to see if I can plot both wins and losses on the same graph, okay, on the same bar plot. So that gets a little tricky, but that's exactly what we're going to try now. Since we want to plot both the wins and losses as bar plots right next to each other, we have to reshape our data frame. This particular operation is called melting, and let's look at what melting a data frame is, then we'll go over to Python. Okay, now first, this is what our data frame today looks like, currently looks like. We have teams one by one. We have 32 teams, and then we have one column for their wins and one column for their losses. Okay, but when we want to plot as not stacked, but bar plots right next to each other, we need a team, and then we need one column which says whether it's a win or a loss, and then we want the value. You see that in this case, all the values are in one column, whereas here the values, the numbers are showing up in 2 different columns. This operation is called melting. Okay, melting involves a few things that have to happen. First, we have to identify those variables which we want to keep as our identifying variables. These are what the rows are about, right? Each row here is our team. So the identifying ID variable is team. Then the variables that we want to combine are wins and losses. And then finally, the third thing that we need are where the values are. Okay, these will become values. Now, to combine all of these 3, we can do it in one line in pandas. And it's simply called, we take our data frame df record, we're going to melt it, .melt, and we say that my ID variable is team, the ID variables are team, and the value variable should be taken from 2 columns, wins and losses. Okay, so now let's go over to Python and actually see how this works. Just as we saw, let's try to melt this data frame that we are calling df record. Melt takes one and a column, a parameter called ID variables, and for that ID, I'm going to use my team as my ID. Each row will be by team. And then there are something called, I think, value variables. I'm going to use two, so I need a list. I'm going to use my wins column and my losses. If I do all of this, I should get good 64 columns, 64 rows, because each team shows up twice, once for wins and once for losses. I have the data shaped the way I want it. Very good. You see this column, it's called variable. We can rename that. Good. My variable name and value can be, let's leave it as value for now. Okay, let's actually store this. Since this worked, I'm going to make a copy of that so that in case somebody looks at the notebook, they can follow along. And I'm going to store this as df melt is equal to. Now I have a very nice melted data frame, and it should have how many? It should have 64 rows and 3 columns. Perfect. Good. Now let's take our bar plot that we had already created. Where is that? Here. Copy that. And I'm going to say everything is the same. Instead of df record, I want to use df melt. Now the y column, there's no more column called losses. You see, our it's called win loss, and then it's called a value, I think, here. This is the column I'm interested in. We're calling it value. So value tells me the score. So my y variable is going to be value. And then, because I want to use a coloring, it's called hue, I can use this one column called win loss. So I'm doing 3 things. I'm saying x-axis should be team, y-axis is going to be my value. It could be either the number of wins or the number of losses. And hue, please color it based on whether it was wins or losses. Nice. Getting close to what I want. Okay. So you see, here is a value, and here are all the teams. The blue bar here is the number of wins that they have had, and the red, orange. These are default colors. So we can actually change that. I'm going to do 2 more things because I like to tweak my graphs a little bit. I want to use slightly different colors. I want to sort the teams maybe by their total number of wins or something. Okay, those are the 2 things I'm going to do next. Now let's try changing this color. So let me copy this one. So I don't, we have done this in a previous video also. So I can create something that I would like to call my win-loss palette, let's say, and it has to be a simple dictionary. And I'm going to say that whenever you see a wins, please use the color green, and if you see losses, please use the color red. Now we can take our graph, and we have to say that the palette you should use is this custom palette that we have created called win-loss palette. So I have added, let me explain. I've added just one command here where I'm saying please use my color palette, and what will it will find 2 values for win-loss. It could be either wins or losses. If you see a win, you use the green color. If you see the losses, use the red color. That's what we're saying. Wow, it's exactly what I wanted, but it's the color red is a little too harsh to my eyes. So let's say change it to, I know this color, I've used it in the past, so okay, it's a little more pleasing, it's more pastel, at least it works for me. You can of course play around with different colors. So we've managed to change the colors. One last thing I want to do is I would like to sort these columns now. First, let's try to sort this df melt itself. Okay, so that is the data frame. I want to simply sort the values, not the index, but the values. What should I sort on? First, I want to sort on whether it's a win or a loss. So the win-loss column. After that, please sort by value. You see there are 2 columns here. I want to use both. Let's try that. The losses are 3 and then the losses are 4 and so on. Okay, that's good. But I want it in a reverse sort, right? This goes from lowest to highest. So I'm going to say ascending equals false. There. Good. I think that's what I wanted. So to make this permanent, you have to add the keyword in place is equal to true. So now this sorts it once and for all, and then it's permanently sorted. Okay, so df melt is now sorted. And now if I take this exact same command and run it, let's see what this looks like. Because df melt is already sorted, I'm expecting all the green bars to start and then kind of go down. Okay, yeah, interesting. So you can see that New Orleans and all of these teams sort of, and then poor Arizona didn't do very well. It has had only 3 wins in the whole season. And because the total is 16, you can actually also see something interesting going on, right? As your number of wins come down, your number of losses go up. So this looks good. This is what I wanted to cover in this video, where we saw how to take, we have summarized a data frame into number of teams, wins and losses. We made a bar plot of wins, we made a bar plot of losses. Then we melted the data frame to get one column of wins and losses so that we can use this keyword called hue. Hue is equal to win loss, colors it by that particular column. And then I did 2 more things. I changed the color and then I sorted it. That's all I wanted to cover in this video. Thank you for your time.